On June 19, 1984, Michael Jordan was drafted by the Chicago Bulls as the third overall pick.
The Chicago Bulls pick Michael Jordan of the University of North Carolina.
That season, the Bulls paid Jordan $550,000.
Bulls as Jordan has come up with another steal.
Oh, no time for Mr. Jordan.
In this video, we are going to be covering the total amount the Chicago Bulls paid MJ over his career, what that breaks down to in terms of minutes played, points scored, and achievements won, how Michael's contract increased 683% in a single season, and what we can learn from MJ's investment strategies. And if you don't mind, my world and livelihood is currently in your hands. So a quick tap on the like button and a subscription goes a long way. It keeps you in charge and me in my place, where I belong, making videos for you guys. So over the 14 seasons MJ was with the Bulls, they paid him a reported $91,742,500, which roughly adjusted for inflation is about $170 million today. So what does that break down to for the Bulls? The first thing to note is that the Bulls sold out every home game from November 20th, 1987 till November 7th, 2000. That is 13 years of sellout crowds after sellout crowds. While MJ was with the Bulls, he played 35,887 minutes, scored 29,277 points, won 639 games, and won 6 championships. So the Bulls paid $2,556 per minute played, $3,134 per point scored, $143,572 per game won, and $15,290,416.70 per championship. Did you catch that he was paid over $3,000 per point scored? Now it's easy to break this out over the course of his career with Chicago, and while this sounds like a lot of money, the surprising thing is that 69% of the $91.7 million came in just 2 seasons. So over 12 seasons, MJ made $28.4 million. And in his 13th season, he had a 683% pay increase. How is that even possible? Well, MJ was paid $3.8 million in his 12th season, and in his 13th season, made over $30 million in a single season. He was paid more than the average team was paid as a whole back then. MJ made more than the other teams combined by himself. So how much are the Bulls worth? Currently the Bulls are worth $4.1 billion, and they were purchased in 1985 for $16.2 million. That is a 25,308% increase in 38 years. For reference, in 1985, Apple stock would have been worth 10 cents a share. Now it's worth $123 a share. That is a 122,900% increase. These numbers don't even sound real right now. So if our boy Jerry put 16.2 M's into Apple back then at 10 cents a share, his asset wouldn't be worth $4.1 billion. It would be worth a staggering $20 billion. Now, what can we learn from this as investors? I think there are 3 main takeaways. The first is MJ had to put in the work.
Michael Jordan called Clyde out and went at him. Tell him, this is what I'm gonna do to you. Fall away jumper, good. What did I tell you? So I said, no, Clyde, you better get him back. You better get him back.
While he was paid market value over his first 12 seasons, he was able to prove his worth and negotiate for something that had never been seen before. Or since, honestly. By keeping his head down and consistently outperforming the competition, he was able to put himself in a position where he could negotiate the absolutely absurd. The second takeaway is that MJ went to a market that needed help. The Bulls only made the playoffs twice and only advanced to the second round once from 1975 to 1984, the year that Jordan was drafted. So rather than taking a job at a place that is already being successful, MJ ended up at a market that needed help, and with his work, single-handedly changed that franchise forever. And my third takeaway is that no matter how good you invest, there will always be an opportunity to look back and say, you could have done it differently. Sure, Jerry could have been 5 times richer had he invested in Apple, but we need to find joy in the journey. Sometimes our investments crash and burn, sometimes they perform as expected, and maybe, just maybe, we strike gold. As always, thank you so much for watching, and let me know in the comments down below if 1, you like this new style of video, and 2, any other investment takeaways that you have from this story. Thanks again. See ya.